Are here once again learning a brand new Gemara for this week, which is a continuation of the previous Gemara where we spoke about zugos, about pairs, and about demons. And in this week's Gemara, we're actually going to tell you not just about demons, but what they might do to you and how to chase them away. Yeah. All right? Yeah. Now, you guys are ready? Good. Our sheets are currently being printed, and they should be ready, especially by the time we finish this. It is a little longer Gemara this week, more than the usual amount, but it is until Kuf Yud Aleph Omud Aleph. I think it's like 4 lines from the top. It's still there, and little longer than usual because there's not a lot of back and forth Gemara. It's almost like just telling you spooky stuff. All right? Good. Let's deal with it. Omar Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef, Omar li Yosef Shida, the demon that was called Yosef, which had the same name as he did, because Rav Yosef is speaking to a demon called Yosef. Yeah? He spoke to this demon called Yosef, and this demon said as follows, Ashmedai, Malko Deshide. Ashmedai is the king of the demons. Huh? Hahu. Kuf Yud Omud Aleph. It's right next to the where it says respond. Yeah. So Rav Yosef is having this conversation with a demon that was also named Yosef. And this demon called Yosef is giving Rav Yosef some information. And he says, I want you to know that there's a head demon called Ashmedai. And he's the king of the demons. Memunahu al kuluhu zugi. He is the boss of all pairs, which means anything that has to do with pairs, as we spoke about yesterday, is under his jurisdiction. In other words, you cannot, even the demons do not have the right to attack somebody using the power of pairs without consent of Ashmedai, the king of the demons. Yeah?
Ashmedai, the king of the demons?
Yeah, Ashmedai, that's his name. King of the demons, called Ashmedai. He's actually quoted in various different places. The king of the demons. Where are we? So he said that Ashmedai is the boss. He has jurisdiction over all of the pair concepts. If one demon wants to attack somebody or something using the pairs, they have to have consent of Ashmedai. And he says as follows, Umalka lo yikri mazik, and a king is not called a damager, because kings have better things to do with their lives than to damage people. Yosef Yitzchak. Yosef. First of all, move a little closer to the table. Okay, I know that trick. I tried that too once upon a time. Yeah, come closer to the table and focus. It would be good if you had a Gemara to follow in as long. Okay, to follow along as well. All right. Anyways, so in other words, Yosef Shida, according to this interpretation, lets Rav Yosef know that because Ashmedai is the boss over the pair concept, he doesn't attack. He has better things to do with his life than to attack. A king has a lot of things on his mind. He has political interests to take care of, and he's not looking to just zap you or attack you or something like that. Right? Yeah. Ika di Amri, however, is a very important keyword called Ika di Amri. Ika di Amri means there are those that say. Ika di Amri basically means that there is an alternative version of the same thing we just spoke about. Meaning, there is an alternative version regarding the interaction between Rav Yosef and the demon Yosef. Yeah. Ikadi Amri, others say, lo, lahai gisa, they say it in the other way. Adrab, on the contrary. Malko, raschonahu. A king is very often an angry, how should I say an angry person is called?
Severe.
Somebody that gets angry quickly. What do you say? Short-tempered. Yeah. Short-tempered person. Yeah. The boy Ovid, whatever he wants, he does. In other words, he doesn't ask permission. He doesn't ask people what to do. He's the boss. He does what he got to do, and that's that. Yeah. In other words, one version is that because Ashmedai is the king and he has so many things to worry about, he doesn't worry about attacking people. Therefore, you would think that the pair concept doesn't actually work because it's controlled by King Ashmedai, and King Ashmedai has better things to do with his life than to attack people. However, the other version is the exact opposite. That he is a king, and as a king, he gets very often short-tempered, and therefore it's very easy to tick him off and get him to attack. Right? So it's kind of opposite versions. Shamelech played its geder, because a king, he basically breaks any type of boundary, lasis le derech, to make his path, ve'ein moichin b'yodoi, and you cannot stop him. You cannot argue with him. You cannot suggest. There's nothing you can do about it. As it's explained in the commentators, that a king, when they want to make a path, in the olden days, if there was a king and he needed to get from one place to the other, and therefore they needed to make a path, you know what they did? They made a path. And you know what? Somebody's fence was in the way. Somebody's property was in the way. You know what they did? They cut it down. They cut it down and they continued going. That's it. When a king wants to make a path, by the way, even halachically, we learned in Rambam, if a king has a need to make a path, a road from one place to the next, he does not need to respect property rights. Now, this is a very good eminent domain. Right. However, it's actually very interesting. It depends on for what purpose. Meaning, in Jewish law, eminent domain exists, but not. It's not a blank allowance that he could just take whatever land he wants. No, for any purpose. One purpose that he could is for a road, because I guess a road, because it has some level of public need, and because there's a war going on and he needs to get from one place to the next as quickly as possible. Specifically when it comes to roads, the king has an unlimited power of eminent domain, and he just makes his road as he sees fit. And just like we say that a king could blast through and poke through other people's property to make his roads, shows that he doesn't necessarily pay attention to what other people's personal interests are. He just does what he needs to do, and that's that. And therefore, this version shows that on the contrary, because Ashmedai is the boss over Zugis, therefore you got to be careful, because again, maybe he doesn't always look to damage, but if he does, bam, he just just goes forward. Got to be careful. Yeah. Omar Rav Papa. Now we have another rabbi that's weighing in on this. He also had a conversation with this demon called Yosef. This Yosef demon apparently used to hang out with the rabbis and have conversations, because he had a conversation with Rav Yosef, and now he's having a conversation with Rav Papa. Omar Rav Papa says, Omar li Yosef Shida. The demon called Joseph, the Joseph demon. He said as follows: Bitrei katlinon, ba'arbo loy katlinon. With two, I guess the number two, it's the number two. Let's see if, Rashbam says it's talking about if you drink 2 cups. We spoke about last week the different numbers of pairs, right? We said if you have pairs, 2 cups is a pair problem. You got to be careful, right? If you had 2 cups, you better have 3. So this Joseph demon, he said that if you drink 2 cups, we'll kill the guy. That's it. Dead. Ba'arba loy kotlinan. However, with 4 cups, even though 4 cups is also pears, it's a pair of pears, right? He says with 4 cups, loy kotlinan, we won't kill the person. But he says, ba'arba mazkinon. With 4, we will still damage him. So again, the number 4, which is pair of pears, will cause damage to the person that drinks 4 cups. He could be damaged. However, the person that drinks 2 cups could be killed. The guy that drinks 2 cups could be killed. The guy that drinks 4 cups could be damaged. He won't be killed, but he'll be damaged. Right? So better drink 4 cups than to drink 2 cups, right? Yeah? If you want to know why Jews get drunk so often, they're like, do I have 2 or do I have 4? Okay, let's try another one.
You have 5 to be safe.
What?
You have 5 to be safe. Be extra careful.
Why do you want to be safe?
Good question.
Yeah, you don't want to get possessed by the demons. Huh. Anyways, I definitely wouldn't want to get possessed by the demons. We have better things to do with our lives. Let them do what they need to do, and we'll do what we need to do, and leave each other alone. Zell.
Well, yeah, that's right.
All right. Let's continue. Betray bein b'shoigid bein b'mezid. With the number 2, with 2 cups, they will attack whether it was on purpose or by accident. Doesn't make a difference, even if you did it by accident. Now, what do you do by the accident? I guess you drank 2, you didn't even realize that you drank 2. If you realize you drank 2, it's a bigger reason to attack you. But in any case, if the number 2 exists, if the 2 cups, you drink 2 cups, then the demons could attack you whether you did it on purpose or by accident. Ba'arba'a, if a person drank 4 cups, b'mezid ein b'shoigid loy. If he did it on purpose, he will be attacked. And if he did it by accident, he won't be attacked. Now, this is a very interesting concept, because what do you mean by accident? What do you mean you drink by accident 2 cups? What does that mean? What does that mean? Right? That's why today I'm using this the Mesifta Gemara. The Mesifta Gemara very often has extra commentaries that explain things. And guess what? I don't see anything. There's not even a single note on this concept of on purpose by accident. I guess it means that if you purposely drank 2, or you by accident drank 2, or you purposely drank 4, or not, meaning that you could just kind of be drinking and you just like it happened to be you drank 4, or you could be a person that's counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Ruvain. What about 5? Yeah. Should we continue? Do you think you could handle this information? Huh? Yeah. Crazy stuff, man. But be careful. The ishtali, the ikri, the nofak. Maitakante. Now here is where we get some of the very important information. Listen very carefully. The Gemara asks, what happens if you forget and you drank 2 cups or 4 cups? One of the 2. And then you went on the way, or you went on a path, you went on a trip. And we said that when you go on a trip, what does that mean? You'd be tripping. Yeah? It says that if you're going on a trip, listen, it says if you're going on a trip, then that's really when the demons attack people, when they're on a trip, when on the path, when on the road, right? So what happens if you drank pears, either 2 or 4, and then you're on the road and you're like, oh my gosh, I drank pears and I don't want these demons to attack me. What am I going to do?
Drink another one.
No. So listen carefully. Listen carefully, guys. This is a very important thing to see. My takante, how do you fix this problem? Says the Gemara, Linkoit zikfo didei, the yamine, bido dismole, v'zikfo dismole, bido yamine. You should take your right thumb and hold it in your left hand, and then take your left thumb and hold it in your right hand.
Whoa.
All right? You got that? Okay, listen, this is the way. If you drank pears, if you're connected with pears, If you're connected with pairs and you want to protect yourself from demons, again, take your right thumb. By the way, you might think this is funny, but this is what it says in Gamara. It's what it says in the Talmud. Take your right thumb, stick it in your left, hold it with your left hand. Then take your left thumb and hold it in your right hand. Right?
Makes an infinity symbol.
There you go. Just like that. Now, once you do that, you have to say a certain thing. Name Mahacha, you must say it as follows. Atun va'ano hotoso. You and I are three.
Atun va'ano hakosa.
Tlosa.
Rosa.
Tlosa.
Talosa.
Yeah. Yeah, again, you and I are three, which means you basically are proclaiming that there is no pairs here, there's no numbers, there's no even numbers here. There is only odd numbers, right? Meaning there's three. You and me are three, right? Now listen what happens. The Ishmiele de Omar, if you hear a demon answer you after you say that, Atun va'ano harbo, you and I are four, namely you should tell him back, Atun va'ano hachamisha, you and I are not four, we're five. You and I are five. Again, you're basically saying we're five, we're the number five, which is, again, an odd number. Yeah? Ve'ishmiale, if you hear that this demon tells back to you, the Amar that he says, Atun va'ano hashisa, he says, you and I are six. Namale, answer him back, Atun va'ano hashiva, you and I are seven. Hava uvda. There was a situation where this interaction happened. We don't know with who, but the Talmud says there was an interaction between a demon and a person that he said, you and I are five, you and I are six, you and I are seven. He goes, keep it up. Ad meya v'chad, until 101.
Wow.
Upakashida. And once he said, you and I are 101, the demon popped. He popped. He disappeared. Zell. You know, like in the video games, you shoot the guy and it goes, ping, just disappears. That's what happened to this demon after they got to 101. Yeah? Now, this Gemara doesn't mention it. A similar story is mentioned in another Gemara, and it's asked. They actually ask why 101. And they say that demons have a counting max at 100. So once they count, they say you and I are 100, which is an even number, and then you say you and I are 101. They're like, uh-oh, like can't count more than that. So, but there you go. So that's how you protect yourself. If you drink pairs and then you went on the way and you're wondering, you want to protect yourself from getting attacked, then this is what you do. Again, right thumb into your left hand, then left thumb into your right hand, and then you say you and I are three. And if it answers you and I are four, you say you and I are five. And if it answers you and I are six, you say you and I are seven. And if it says you and I are eight, you say you and I are nine. And you just go up and up and up and up until this demon pops. Huh?
You and I are 101. Just go straight from the pot. Yeah, that's right.
This guy's too Jewish for me here. Good question. Again, I don't know how demons work, but the instructions of the Gemara, maybe if you go too high, too quickly, then the demons will say, this guy's a liar. This guy's just playing games. But if you do one at a time, you're like climbing up. Yeah, we freaked this guy out over here. Alexander Gregory Muller's freaked out. He's like, what? What? Wow, is this real? Can I say it in English? I don't know. I don't know. He said, it's a good question. Could you say it in English? Again, the Talmud says to say it in Aramaic, but it doesn't. Again, it's telling you to say it in Aramaic because it's speaking Aramaic, not necessarily is limited to Aramaic. You might be able to say it in English as well. I don't see why not. I guess the whole point is that you're pointing out that you are an odd number and not an even number, because even numbers are dangerous. As we spoke about this last week, we spoke about the even numbers being dangerous because they represent duality, and for a demon to attack, he has to be able to split, divide and conquer, and an odd number he cannot split, and since he cannot split the odd number, He has no power over odd numbers, only even numbers. Yeah. He says to you, argue. Don't argue with the demons about numbers. You just have to make sure that you present yourself as an odd number and not an even number. Because an even number, the demon could split and could divide. And since the demon could divide that number, you can get attacked. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Good. He said he always thought that odd numbers were dangerous. I don't know. According to the Talmud, I'm not making an opinion over here. I did not speak with Joseph the demon. Okay, only the Talmud speaks about Rav Papa and Rav Yosef that spoke with Joseph the demon. I never spoke with him, and since I never spoke with him, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm just telling you what the Talmud says, whether you like it or not. This is what it says.
Connection between the Shin Dalet and Yosef Avinu, like Yosef.
Again, these demons have names. Okay, and apparently one of them was called Joseph. Joseph in Hebrew.
Means to count, right?
Yosef actually means to add, yeah. We
sense.
had the king of the demons is called Ashmedai, right? Ashmedai is the king of demons. Huh? I have no idea. Let's think about it. It has Aish. Aish is fire. Ashmedai. I don't know. It's a good question. What does it mean? You also have the name Shin Daled Yud in there, but with a letter in between. Yeah. It's a good question. It's a good question. All right. Good question. Should we continue, or you had enough for today? We should continue. Let's go. All right.
We're gonna hit some witches in a little bit.
Let's see. Oh, now we're going to the witches. All right, you ready for the witches? Yosef, you ready for the witches? All right. Amar Ameimar, says Ameimar, the great sage Ameimar said as follows. Amra ri li rishtinohi dinoshim kishvoniyos. Yeah, one of the leaders of these female witch mobs told me as follows. Again, Ameimar had a conversation with one of the bosses of the witch mobs. Yeah, it was a witch mob boss. It says she told him as follows. Hi man, the pagabahu benoshim kashvoniyos. Anybody that encounters women witches, name hachi, they should say as follows. Listen carefully. What you should tell a woman witch. We're gonna go up to every woman that's treating a guy not nice is gonna start saying this to them. You witch, let me tell you. All right, this is what you say if you meet a woman witch. This is the advice given to Ameimar by a woman called Resh Tinihi, who was the mob boss of a woman mob, a witch mob. It says, Name hachi. It says, Chorei chamime bidikule bazio lefumaychu noshe dacharoshayo. That's what you should say it. It says, hot excrement in torn baskets that have many holes in them should go into your mouths. Korach koraichi. Your hair should be torn out. Porach poraichi. The wind should blow away. It says it should blow away the bread that they use for witchcraft. Apparently, they use bread for witchcraft. Ibadur tavlunaichi. Your spices should be scattered all over the place. Parchazicho lemariko chadato denoktisu. the wind should carry away this new boisim, like incense that you are using in your hands to do witchcraft. And then, of course, at the end of this sentence where you say all these things should happen, you say, Noshim kashfoniyos, you witchful women. Adechonani vachonenichi. He basically says, as long as heaven has mercy on me, I would have never met you. Yeah. Now that I have met you, which means God did not have enough mercy to prevent me from meeting you. Korchonani v'chanonchi. Shall God's mercy be on me? Because my own mercy was not cooled off. Interesting thing to say to witches, right? It sounds much better in Aramaic. It sounds much better in Aramaic. We're going to repeat that. This is what you tell a witch. If you meet a witch in the street, here's what you say. Chore chamimi b'dikula bazio, lefumaychi noshe dacharoshayo, korach koraichi, porach poraichi, ivadur tavlunaichi, por chazikol u'meirikol chadato deraktisu, noshim kashfoniois, adechonani v'chanonchi, lo yasichi legoi, hashto dasichi legoi, korchonani v'chanonchi. Right? How about that? That's pretty crazy, man. Yeah? This guy wants to know what page it's on. We're on page 100 and it says it on the title of the video, 110A, the bottom of the page.
Tractate Pesachim.
Tractate Pesachim. You know what to tell witches. This guy's gonna go around saying this to a bunch of women. He's gonna get arrested. They're gonna arrest this mentally retarded guy is going around. Like, what this guy doing, man?
I don't know. She can
Like,
understand
dude,
it.
like what's going on
She can
here?
understand it and is offended. She's probably a witch anyway.
She probably, that's what I'm saying. She probably thinks this guy's nuts, you know. The guy's nuts. What's the guy doing? He said, "Poraichi, aporaichi, apumaichi." But it also, the translation is very interesting. You want this basket of dung excrement to go in her mouth. The translation of it says as follows. It says hot excrement in torn baskets with many holes in them should go into your mouth. Yeah? You female witches. That's what it says. Yeah? And it says may it be his will, meaning may God's will be that your hair should be pulled out. Oh, sorry, the hair. Here it's explained the hair that they use. Apparently, they used to use hair as an ingredient in witchcraft. Yeah. By the way, you should know a lot of Jewish people till today, they're very superstitious. When they cut their hair, make sure to clean it up and get rid of it. Because apparently, if somebody gets a hold of even one strand of your hair, if they know how to do witchcraft, they can do witchcraft on your hair. Yeah. So it's basically asking Hashem to get rid of this witchcraft here that they have, and the bread. Apparently, bread was also part of this ingredients. So the bread should scatter, etc. So basically, this is how you curse. Yeah. Should we continue, or what do you think? You still can handle this? You want more stuff? I see some people they're freaking out over there. There's this person, Big Sack Jimmy. Yeah, I don't know who's this guy from Kick, Michigan. He says, "Am I Jewish? What do I look like? A Muslim with a black yarmulke like this?" Of course, I'm Jewish. What kind of question is that? Good. Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyways, Alexander Gregory Miller wants everybody to know that this is real SHIT. He knows this woman who's a serious witch boss. She's a bitch boss. Maybe ask this witch boss woman if she ever heard of this other witch boss woman called Reish Tinhi. Ask her if she met Reish Tinhi. All right? All right? Good. Anyways, let's continue. Weiter gegangen. We're going to continue about the spooky stuff in the Talmudic teachings as we have here. Bimarava, in the West, which the West was actually another terminology in the Talmud for Israel. Why? Because most of the Jews lived in Babylonia, which is modern-day Iraq. If you are in modern-day Iraq and you would go to Israel, you got to travel east. Yeah? Yeah. So they used to say in the east, in Israel, loy kopti azuge. They weren't so particular about this whole pair concept. They weren't so worried about it. Rav Dimi min Naharda'o copied afilu aroishmo de chaviso. However, Rav Dimi from a place called Naharda, he was so particular that even the stamps, the stamp of his barrels, they used to stamp a barrel with they used to have this stamp thing. Even those, he was careful that he shouldn't take them out in pairs. Yeah, he was super careful in pairs. Hava uvda, there was one time that he took out these stamps. He took them out in pairs. Upaka chavisa, and all of a sudden one of his barrels just burst out of nowhere. Spooky stuff. Poop. Zeh. Now listen to what the Talmud says. Listen to what the Talmud says. Klola de milsa. The general rule is as follows. Listen carefully. The general rules is as follows. Kol de kopid, kopti bahadei. Anyone who's particular about the concept of pairs, then these demons will also be particular on them about pairs, and if they do pairs, they'll get attacked. Udloy kopid, loy kopti bahadei. And those who don't care, they don't pay attention to it, they won't get attacked. However, it says you should generally try to be careful. Again, it says if you're not being very particular about pairs, in other words, if you are not making a big deal about pairs, the demons won't either make a big deal about pairs. If you make a big deal about pairs and then one time you actually mess around with pairs, they're going to get you. However, the Gemara concludes that you should try to be careful about pairs anyways. Okay, yeah, you don't have to go crazy about it, right? You don't have to go crazy about pairs, but you should be careful about it. Yeah. Yeah, good. So this guy wants to know if I'm on drugs. Who is his name? Rumpash Trumper. He wants to know if I'm on drugs. Am I on drugs? I'm on the greatest drug in the world. It's called Torah study, Talmudic brilliance. And every once in a while it gets spooky like we had today and like last week. And we still have more spooky stuff. This whole week is spooky stuff. Right? I don't know about next week. I have to look at it. I didn't look at it next week's Gemara yet. But this week, we have some spooky stuff to teach. I actually just taught you about half of it because there's not a lot of back and forth. It's pretty much just telling you spooky information. It's not really, It's not really, what? Good. Any questions from the comments over here, from the people in the class live or the people live on live stream? Especially this guy, he likes to know how to, Alexander Gregory Muller, he says, should we read the Zohar? If you want to read the Zohar, you could read it. I'm not stopping you. You want to read the Zohar? Go. We have this Zohar book over here. If you want to come to our yeshiva, you have a book over here, but it's in its original language in Aramaic. There's a bit of a translation to Hebrew, but that's that. The Zohar. Although a lot of people go to the Zohar for all the spooky stuff, there's plenty of spooky stuff in Gemara as well. Yeah. We have a big argument whether we should like the Muslims or not. I don't know. Alexander wants us to learn Zohar in class. Unfortunately, this class is a Talmud class, so we do learn Talmud. That's what we do. Maybe a different class could be done on Zohar, perhaps. Anyways, the fact is that God created every single person, and every single person has free will, and every single person must act in accordance with their own free will to realize what's good and what's evil. And if they don't, they will be, they would get what they deserve at some point. You got to be careful. Don't do what you know is not good. And that goes for Jews, that goes for Muslims, that goes for Christians, right? If you ask me, I think deep down, even a lot of these Muslims terrorists, they know that they're evil people and that they're doing horrible stuff, and they don't care. It's just like this. They have this rush. I've actually seen some of the videos of these mujahideen, or whatever. I don't know if they say it there. I don't know if they said it right, but you see these guys. They're not refined people that are trying to serve God. There's a rush. They're fighting. They're killing. It's like they like seeing blood. So it's a fun game for them. It's not real, right? The real serious people that want to connect with God and do what God wants, including in the Muslim world, even in the Muslim world, you have people and they're trying to make people happy and trying to make peace and trying to make tranquility, and that's because they know that that's what God wants. So, right? It doesn't make a difference which particular place you're from. Anyways, let's not get haktainik on this, but that's that. Oh, Kenai Nahara. So that's it. I think that's it for today. And you guys are going to learn the Gemara. There are sheets waiting. Reuven, do you mind collecting them from the printer? And by the way, for any of you out there that has not yet joined our group, our WhatsApp group, I just put on the screen a QR code. And if you click on that QR code, you could join our WhatsApp group. And we do update you on various information from my class, from this class, from other things. And you should definitely join immediately before I pull it off the screen and then you lost forever. So. Why are you making faces at me? Huh? What? What do you mean it didn't print? I heard it printing. Oh, 4 printed? And is there paper? Go bring it here. I want to see what's going on here. Sugar. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So here it is. I don't know why. Oh, why is it coming out like this? Why is it? All right. Good. Anyways, let's end the. This thing, whatever this thing is over here in front of my face. What do we call it? The live stream. Good. Okay. Here we go.